interview has been tape recorded. I'm PC 2358 Rossington, attached to Chesterfield Police Station. Another officer is also present.
It's PC Edwards 2970, also attached to Chesterfield Police Station.
This is to yourself, Martin. Can you please state your full name and date of birth for me, please?
Martin Glasgow, 10th of the 7th, 1959.
Thank you. And your solicitors present?
Felicity Clark, Melliot Maiden Solicitors, I'm a legal rep.
Thank you. The date is the 14th of December 2009 and the time by my watch is 18:36. We're in interview room 124 at Chesterfield Police Station. When you leave custody, you'll be given a copy of one of the interview tapes. As you've seen, I've undone 3 interview tapes there. They're all tape recording simultaneously. One of the copies will be sealed up completely and can be used for court purposes. The other copy is sealed partially, and that is what we call the working copy, and that will be typed up afterwards. The third copy is a green copy, which is for yourself to take away, or your solicitor. I must remind you that you have the right to free and independent legal advice. I understand you've had the opportunity to speak with Felicity.
I have, yes.
Are you happy for the interview to go ahead?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. If at any time you wish to stop the interview for further consultation with Felicity, you can do so. You understand that?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I have to caution you. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that caution, Martin?
I do, yes.
Yeah, just tell me in your own words so that I know you've got a full understanding of it.
What caution?
Yes.
Whatever you say, it may be, like I said, it be used in court against you.
Not necessarily against you. You do not have to say anything. That first bit means exactly that. You can sit there and not give any answers to the questions that I'm going to ask you. However, if you chose to do that, and the case ended up going to court, the court may draw their own opinion. It's called an inference as to why you've not answered when you've been given the opportunity to answer questions. Yeah? Likewise, if you gave an answer today, in interview, and the case went to court, and to the same question you gave a different answer, again the court would draw their own opinion as to why that was. Yeah? And anything you do say may be given in evidence is because it's been tape recorded. One of the tapes, like I said to you, is typed up afterwards, alright, and can be read in court, and then the original copy kept sealed so that they match up, yeah? Right, you've been arrested earlier today on suspicion of harassment with regard to some posters, I understand?
That's correct.
Right. What can you tell me about this then, Martin?
About the what? About the poster or about the situation?
About the situation, about the posters, whatever you want to tell me about.
Well, basically, I'm guilty of producing that poster.
What poster is that?
I do believe you got a copy. It's to do with Councillor Roy Zane Pastoll.
3 minutes and 50 seconds.
So why did you do that?
Why?
Yes.
Because I believed at the time that my son had been stolen away from me
4 minutes and
through his interference.
Who is your son?
My son's name's Jonathan
20 seconds.
Right. And what's his surname?
Glasgow.
It's Jonathan Glasgow. And how old is he?
I think he'd be about
4 minutes
12
and
now.
30
He'll be 12 years, will he? Okay. So why did you think your son had been stolen from you?
Why?
4 minutes and seconds.
Because certain things that's happened over a number of years
4 minutes and 50 seconds.
involving Councillor Roy Pastoll.
What sort of things?
5 minutes.
What sort of things?
Yeah.
My son had been left over at his house at 6-year-old, ended up sleeping with this Councillor Pastoll and his girlfriend. And when I
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
when I at the end of the day, they didn't have to tell me, did they?
5 minutes
That he'd slept
30
with
seconds.
Pastoll and his girlfriend.
Who didn't have to tell you?
First of all, Jonathan broke his neck, told me when I was taking him back to meet his mother at this Councillor Pastoll's home. And then, as soon as I got through the door,
5 minutes.
this Councillor Pastoll got hold of Jonathan, sat him on his knee and told me exactly the same, in the same words as what Jonathan had told me. He'd been sleeping with this Grandad Roy and his girlfriend Sharon.
Okay. And what do you think was the problem with that?
6 minutes and
6-year-old
30
dog.
seconds.
Inappropriate for him to sleep with somebody that's not a in fact anybody at 6-year-old, not not a blood relative.
So what did you do about that?
I went to the social services.
Minutes and 30 seconds.
I spoke to a Sue Burgess.
6 minutes and 40
Yeah.
seconds.
And time went by and I decided to phone them up and see what had been happening,
Minutes
and I was told
seconds.
that by the Sue Burgess, who, when I first got in touch with her,
7 minutes.
she was like, "Oh, what's happened, this, that or that, what has it, what's been going off like?" And then as soon as I mentioned that it was Councillor Roy Pastoll,
7
her attitude
minutes and
changed.
10 seconds.
And then but after I phoned her up again, she was saying things like, "Oh, what were it now?
Minutes 20.
You don't really think anything would have happened, do you?" I said to her, I said on the phone, I said, "I've no idea. I can't read people's minds." And from there, they allegedly conducted an investigation. But again, I had to phone them up from my workplace when I was working at Sheffield, and it took them 6 hours to get back to me.
Well, these things do take time, don't they? What sort of thing did you think was wrong about this then?
But I thought it was inappropriate for my son to sleep between Grandad, who was referred to as Grandad Roy, and his girlfriend Sharon.
Okay. Did Jonathan say anything that made you have suspicions that there might be something wrong?
No, not really. But not to start with. I actually, after I weren't satisfied with what I'd heard from social services, how they portrayed themselves, I went to see a solicitor.
Yeah.
And this guy, by then I broke contact with Jonathan because I was upset about it. And I broke contact with Jonathan. I went to see this solicitor, and this solicitor said, best thing you can do, Mr. Glasgow, is make contact again with your son, and if anything has happened, he'll tell you we've been his father. And less than a month, I made contact with him again, and started doing the same, picking him up, meeting his mother, picking him up, taking him up to my parents. And then when, instead of taking him home, his mother said she was cleaning for this Councillor Roy Pastoll. So I took him to this Councillor Roy Pastoll's home. And within a month or so, could have been less, Jonathan stopped. He said, "I've got a secret." I said, "What's that then, Jonathan?" You know, 6-year-old like. I thought he'd tell me. And he says, "I can't tell you." He says, "Mummy's told me not to tell you." So I left it to that, dropped him off at this Councillor Roy Pastoll's home, where his mother were, and I skedaddled, and I broke contact with him again.
So you're the one who's lost out with contact with your son?
That's right.
The secret could have been anything, couldn't it, really, from
Well,
a
a bit
6-year-old?
strange, isn't it? A bit strange that, with what happened.
10
You didn't have to tell me in the first place. I mean, like, I went living with his mother and I only used to see him once a week. So they didn't really have to tell me anything, did they?
Right, just for the benefit of the tape, we'll go through. So, you've got a son called Jonathan,
Yeah.
with who?
Lisa Reale.
Lisa.
Yeah.
And how do we spell Reale?
R-E-A-L-E.
Yeah. Okay, so Lisa is Jonathan's mother.
That's right.
Yeah. Is she any relation to Councillor Pastoll?
No relation whatsoever. He used to go out with her mother for a
Right.
time.
Okay. Did she keep up contact with Councillor
Who?
Lisa?
Lisa.
Yeah.
She cleaned for him.
Yeah.
That's as far as I know.
Yeah.
Could have been more in it. It's nothing to do with me. Like, no, you...
I'm just
you
wondering
didn't
if
have to tell me,
if he's
did
like
you?
a father figure to her, if he's been with her mother for some time, that he's perhaps a father figure to her, and this is why Jonathan calls him...
I suppose a previous partner, John, whatever his name were, I suppose he were a father figure to her and all. Because same happened with her. Her father split up with her mother. So it's same situation. We were all round in a circle.
So, Lisa's known Councillor Pastoll for some time, several years.
Sometime, yeah.
How
Before
long?
I knew her.
Before you knew her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would imagine considers him as something of a father figure, and her children...
Well, I've never heard her call him Dad.
Father figure.
Or father or whatever.
But her son, Jonathan, your son, classes him as Grandad Roy, or
It
calls
looks
him
that way, doesn't it?
Grandad Roy.
Yeah.
Have you heard him call him that?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many occasions.
Yeah. So that's how Jonathan refers to him.
That's right,
as Grandad
yeah.
Roy. Okay. So that's the situation behind this allegation that you've made a poster.
Well, I did make that poster, I'm not denying it.
How many posters have you made?
I made about 20 or so altogether. Could have been more.
Okay, and what did you do with the posters?
What did I do with the posters? What did you make posters for? I put them up.
You put them up. And why did you put them up?
Why? Because I believed at the time that this Roy Pastoll had stolen my son away from me.
I've got a copy of the poster here. The poster's
That's
got
it, yeah.
Is that the poster? That's a copy of the poster, yeah?
That's a copy of the poster, yeah.
And on the poster it says Grandad Roy, underlined at the top. It says in 2004, Pastoll admits to sleeping with 6-year-old boy.
For me, yeah, it did.
And is then not interviewed by social services until after numerous complaints by
By
the
me,
father of
yeah.
boy in 2005.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a large picture of Councillor Roy Zane Pastoll, chair of the forum. Also the fact that he's a postman, and under his photograph it says Dunstan, Moor and St Helens, Chesterfield. And then at the bottom it says in 2006, after further complaints, social services told father maybe boy of no relation to Pastoll should have his own bed.
That's right.
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
That's right.
And there is a Liberal Democrats logo in the bottom right
That's
hand
right.
corner.
I'd have done it to anybody. I'm good at making posters. If it not necessarily him, if it had been anybody else, I'd have done exactly the same.
Why do you think it's alright to make a poster like this? Making these sorts of allegations about
Not
someone?
allegations, it's the truth.
What are you trying to infer?
I'm not trying to infer anything. What's it say there?
It says Pastoll admits to sleeping with 6-year-old boy.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, he did, yeah. To my son. With my
Now, a
son.
lot of people refer sleeping as probably a sexual act.
15 minutes and
It's
30
sleeping in the same bed, isn't it? I don't
When
know,
people
do I?
say sleeping, they refer to possibly a sexual act, don't they? Like
Not
sleeping
necessarily,
together.
do they?
Is that what you're inferring on there?
15 minutes
Not necessarily. It's how you want to perceive it, isn't it?
It's not a very nice thing to do to write about someone though, is it?
Well, that's what happens really, isn't it? End of the
And do
day.
you think it might cause a slur on his character?
I've no idea.
Was that your intention?
Not necessarily, no.
So why put it on a poster then?
Because I believe I got no satisfaction and he stole my son away from me.
minutes and 20
Using his tricks and his ploys.
What do you mean by tricks and ploys?
Buying my son PlayStations and such.
seconds.
Does he class him as his grandson?
Well, that's what I believe so, yeah.
Is that not what grandparents do?
He's not his grandfather.
Surrogate grandfathers.
15 minutes and 50
Is that not what grandparents do? Or even surrogate grandparents do?
I've no idea. I've never had a grandparent.
17 minutes precisely.
Well, I've had them, but I've never known them.
You know, if somebody had put a picture of you up with something like that written on it in several locations, how would you feel?
17 minutes and 20
Gutted if it were lies.
17 minutes and
Do you think it's right that you should be able to put up something like this for
And
people to read and make assumptions?
Well, as a concerned father,
seconds.
voicing my opinion.
If you've got such great concerns, why didn't you come to the police?
Why did they come to the police?
Why didn't you come to the police if you've got such grave concerns?
18 minutes precisely.
Why didn't they come to the police? Well,
18 minutes
I never thought of that. I went to social services instead. But
But if you're thinking that something is not right about this relationship between Councillor Pastoll and your son, and you think there is something wrong happened, surely the police is your first port of call.
I think the thing that were wrong was him taking over from me.
18 minutes and 40
Stealing my son.
So do you think you're perfectly within your rights then to put up these posters inferring all sorts of things, causing upset, harassment, alarm, distress to Councillor Pastoll?
Well, I thought so at the time, yeah.
And how do you feel now?
minutes.
How do I feel now? In hindsight, I think I should have come to the police.
19 minutes and 10 seconds.
How do you feel about having put these posters up now?
How do I feel?
19 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, I regret it to a certain degree, because I'm here, aren't I?
Do you know that your actions amount to harassment?
No, I don't know.
No.
I didn't know at the time, no.
No. But do you now?
Oh, I'm here, aren't I?
Do you know that now?
I've been told.
Do you think any reasonable person ought to know that this kind of public display, making a slur on someone's character like that, would upset anyone, any reasonable person? Do you agree?
That's correct, yeah. If it's false.
20 minutes and 10 seconds.
which is why he's made the complaint, because it has upset him. Caused him sleepless
20
nights,
minutes
worrying about
and
it.
20 seconds.
Do you know the difference between right and wrong?
I do, yeah.
20 minutes
I do
and
believe so,
30
yeah.
seconds.
So, if I was to ask any member of the public
Seconds.
what they thought about the poster, what do you think what do you think they would interpret it as?
20 and 50 seconds.
I've no idea. It depends on...
What was your
individual.
intention for them to interpret it as?
21
My intention?
minutes
Yes.
Precisely.
Oh, it says it's there, doesn't it? It's like with my son. How it could have happened, I don't know.
And 10 seconds.
When did you put the posters up?
21
Could
minutes.
be 3-4
and
months
20
ago, something like
seconds.
Okay. And how many did you put up?
that. About 10.
21
About
minutes
10.
About
and
10 altogether. I
And where
don't
did you
think
put
so.
them?
And I put a few at Brimington, a few at... there
21
might have been a few more than
and
10.
40
A few at Brimington, a few at
21 minutes and 50 seconds.
Brampton, and a few on one at Stone Gravel, I do believe.
22 minutes precisely.
How did you get about to put them up?
I
You
walked.
drive, you walk.
Yeah, I've had my van stolen twice.
22 minutes
Then
and
crushed.
10 seconds.
I'll just refer to this.
Seconds.
This is what's been seized from your flat today, along with other things. Okay. Referring to exhibit SRD6, which is 4 laminated posters, referring to Grandad Roy. Are they posters that you've made?
They posted what I made, yeah.
And they're from the office room at 3 Tansley Court, Chesterfield.
That's probably so, yeah.
Is that your address?
That is my address, yes.
Does anyone else live there?
No one else lives there, no.
Anything to ask us?
Yeah, Martin, are you jealous
Am I jealous?
of Mr. Pastoll?
No, not at all.
You mentioned earlier satisfaction.
Yeah.
That you didn't get any satisfaction.
What from?
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you mean
Oh,
by
from the social services. Yeah.
How did that
They
make
didn't, it almost seemed as though they weren't interested. That's where I weren't satisfied with the getting back to me on my inquiries, what I was voicing my concerns. They didn't get back to me. I had to contact them.
How did this make you feel?
Anxious.
Anxious?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What did I mean by that?
Yeah.
It made me feel as though they weren't concerned.
24 minutes and 10 seconds.
At what point did you feel like this? Like calendar times? When were you feeling like this? When did you find that you had no satisfaction from the social services?
When?
Yeah.
When they rung up and then they said that, well, when I rung them up, they rung me back 6 hours later and they said that maybe Jonathan should have his own bed. That's when I felt like that.
When was that?
When was that? That was 2005, I do believe.
It's 2005.
Yeah,
25 minutes.
Now 2009.
that's right. Last year I made contact with Jonathan. Well, I went up and seen him a few times.
25 minutes
And,
seconds.
well, he just like, his attitude towards me, it went as though I were his dad, put it that way.
Jonathan's attitude changed.
Yeah, it did change.
When did you see Jonathan?
When did I see him last?
Yeah, no, when you say Jonathan's attitude changed towards you, Martin,
And 30 seconds.
when was this?
When was this?
25 minutes.
It was on his birthday.
40 seconds.
This year?
No, last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
What day is that?
19th,
25 minutes.
what,
and
his
50
birthday or his
seconds.
date of birth? Same thing, isn't it? His date of birth, I think it was 19th of the 9th, 97.
26 minutes precisely.
And last year's 2008. So last August,
That's correct.
you noticed a change in Jonathan's attitude towards yourself.
Well, no, I noticed a change in his attitude then, but I noticed a change in his attitude when he'd actually said to me that he'd been sleeping with Grandad Roy. That's when I first noticed a change in his attitude.
26 minutes and 30 seconds.
When was the last time you saw Jonathan?
Last year on his birthday.
That was the last time you
That
saw
was the last time, yes.
26 minutes and
When did you make these posters?
seconds.
Can't remember. Offhand, I can't remember. I've been doing that much inquiries and investigations myself.
50 seconds.
Was it this year?
It was this year, yeah.
Was it the spring?
It could have been the spring, it could have been a bit
27
later.
minutes precisely.
So this
and 10
whole incident's
seconds.
been going on since 2005.
That's correct, yeah. Before then,
And last time you saw Jonathan was your son.
27
He said he had changed.
and
Wasn't treating you like his dad anymore. Back in 2008 on his birthday. You've not seen him since then.
that's
So
right.
then, 6 months later, approximately, which is spring this year, you've made these posters. Why did you make these posters?
Why?
And 40
Because like I said, I believe that he stole my son away.
Why at that point?
Why at that point?
After everything that's gone on,
minutes
why
and
make them
50
this
seconds.
year in spring?
You know, it's been over a period of time, hasn't it? Why did they make them previously?
That's
It's
it.
just how things happen, isn't it? Everything goes a course. It goes along.
Did anything happen to make you want to create these posters?
Yeah, I've been wanting to create them posters a long time ago, but I didn't have his photograph then. When I got his photograph, I created them posters when somebody put a leaflet through the door.
You said earlier that the issue that we're talking about is not directly the fact that your son slept in the same bed as Pastoll.
Well, that's to do with
That's
it.
to do with it, but the
That's to
main
do with it.
issue
Is that he stole my son away.
is stealing your son.
That's right.
Was-
That's in my opinion.
That's in your opinion.
Yeah.
Is that a personal problem you have with?
No, I'd have done it with anybody else. It wouldn't have made no difference whether it was Councillor Pastoll. If it had been anybody else, and I got the materials, I'd have done it.
You've done it. What makes you believe that this problem that you have with this person about taking your son off you, why is that a public? Why do you need to tell the public about that?
Because nobody else would listen.
So, Councillor Pastoll, you believe, is taking your son off you.
That's right.
So, you make posters to tell the general public
What he's like.
what he's like.
That's right.
And why did you put the things on the poster?
Because they were delivered to me. Else I wouldn't have put them on the poster. I wouldn't have even made poster, would I, if I hadn't got his photograph or anything?
9 minutes and 50 seconds. Minutes precisely.
This poster then,
So why, if he's Dunstan and St Helens ward, And why has this picture been put through my letterbox? I'm not in Dunstan St Helens Ward.
30 minutes and 20 seconds.
No. How did it make you feel when his picture of his face came through your door?
You know, different.
30
It's just
minutes and
another tool to
30
use.
seconds.
Another tool. Another
Not
tool.
another tool as in like, I've got his photograph, I'll do what I want to do if I got hold of it, or if I'd had it previously.
Are you saying you would have done this earlier then if you'd had a
Oh, yeah.
photograph of him to hand?
Oh yeah.
I ask you again, what were your intentions when you made that photo, that poster?
What were my intentions? My intentions were to expose him for what he is.
And what is he?
Stole my son.
31 minutes and 10 seconds.
Your son is now 12.
That's right.
Yeah.
1 minute
He's
and
now of an age where he can make decisions.
That's right.
himself. But you said you don't see your son anymore.
I don't see him no more, no.
Why is that?
Because he changed even more so when I went to see him on his birthday.
1 minute and
So did you make the decision not to see him?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why you don't see your son. Not because
31
Roy Pastoll
Of course it's
stolen him.
No, it's all to do with Pastoll.
You're laying the blame at his door for the fact
Oh.
that you
If they,
now don't see your son anymore.
Put it this way, if they hadn't have told me he'd been sleeping with Grandad Roy, I wouldn't have known, would I? If his picture hadn't come through my letterbox, which I'm not in that ward, I wouldn't have been back in that poster, would I?
So you think you're perfectly within your rights to make posters and make these allegations about someone because you feel justified
It's not allegations.
In the
it's
fact-
right.
and 30
in the fact that Roy Pastoll has stolen your son.
That's what, yeah.
So you've pursued this course of conduct, haven't you?
Sued this course of conduct.
Yes. You've planned it.
Oh, it's happened.
You've got the picture.
I haven't planned it, it happened, that's
It's
all.
happened, but you've organised it.
Well, I've done it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm not
And
denying
you've
that.
got the equipment at your house, haven't
I'm not
you?
denying that.
So you've pursued a course, what we call a course of conduct.
Only as it came along, so it weren't planned like you're trying to instigate.
33 minutes and 10 seconds.
But it didn't all just happen just like that, did it? It took you some time.
Well, it did, yeah, because I wouldn't have,
And that's what I mean by
I
a
wouldn't-
course of conduct.
I wouldn't have been able to produce that photograph, that poster, if I hadn't got his photograph.
I'm sure lots of other addresses have got that photograph through the door as well.
And 30 seconds.
Not in where I live.
So you're saying that you've been singled out and
Dunstan
that
St Helens, isn't it?
33
it will have gone further than that, this flyer leaflet. They do, don't they, when they're campaigning?
Yeah, they do, don't they? It's worth campaigning leaflet, wasn't it?
3 minutes and 15
What was it?
seconds.
It was just a two-side A4 folded over. You got all different councillors for that area, and just a bit of information about them.
34 minutes and 10
So you said you started to think, oh, you'd make a poster and write this stuff on the top and at the bottom about it. So you've planned it all, you've added the picture, you've produced the posters.
No, I produced a poster as soon as when the picture come through the door.
Yeah.
No, I didn't plan it. I produced a poster. I'd have done it before. I'm saying I'd have done it before, but I didn't have the materials I needed.
4 minutes and
But then you went and got the material.
I didn't go and get the materials. It was put through my door.
But you've got the laminates.
Oh, I've had that for years.
Yeah.
I've had that for years. When I
then
bought
you
the
produced
laminating
them.
machine, I got, I think it was 300 laminating sheets free, or what, vice versa. You bought the sheets.
Then you've produced the posters.
Oh, the materials were there. I
Produced
used
the
them.
posters.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Produced the posters, haven't you?
5 minutes
I'm not denying that
No.
seconds.
at all.
And do you not think anybody, any reasonable person, would consider that harassment, having something like that put up all over the streets, all around, about them?
Oh, he's bound to, isn't he?
Thank you.
Just to summarise, Martin, what you've told me, what I think's happened is that you are jealous of Roy.
Yeah, I'm not. Only where my son's concerned.
Yes, and your son likes Roy, and he sees him as a granddad figure, and because of that...
Do you know him?
I don't know them. Because
you're
of that...
talking as though you know him.
Because of that, you've gained a dislike for Roy, and you know Roy's a councillor.
It could have been anybody.
You know Roy's a councillor, and because he's a councillor, it's in the public interest, and because of that, you've not seen your son anymore, and this has made you angry, and you've had no satisfaction from speaking to social services. So in retaliation, you thought of what you can do to hit out at Roy, and you thought, what I'll do is I'll create some posters, make all the public aware of him, and make them know, and get at Roy that way. And you've been waiting until this photograph's come through your house, and you've seen the photograph, and you've created these posters. And you've created these posters to cause him harassment, and to cause him problems at work, and to get back at him because he's took your son.
What's he say here?
Is that right?
He stole my son,
Is
hasn't
this
he?
what I'm saying? Is that right, Martin?
Well, he stole my son, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. From what you've told me, you're saying he has, and you've created that to get back at him.
That poster doesn't say...
It don't matter whether it was Roy Pastoll, it could have been anybody. If I'd have got the materials, I'd have done the same. If it were you, I'd have done the same with you.
Martin,
I
that
don't think it's
poster...
right.
Martin, that poster doesn't say he stole my son.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Well, that's what's happened. Why is it
So why didn't you put on that poster if you felt so strongly about it? This man has stolen my son.
So is that a suggestion?
I'm just saying to you. If that's what's behind it all,
Well,
why not see a solicitor?
I did see a solicitor.
And what happened there?
Well, she told me to make contact with my son. I made contact with him. And then he told me he'd got a secret. Tooted into it, you see.
The reason you didn't put that this man who stole my son on that poster is because that's not impactful. That means nothing to the general public. But by putting on that poster that your son, or a son, or a young boy has been sleeping in the same bed as a councillor.
I didn't think about it
Yeah.
properly when I made it. I just put the words down. I didn't go through it. I didn't look at it from one point of view or another point of view like you're trying to suggest. I just put down what came to my mind. And that's it.
Anything you wish to add?
38 minutes and 30
Anything
seconds.
from yourself? No. Anything from yourself, Martin?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. I'll stop the interview. The time by my watch is 19:15 on the same date.